Okay, man. Well, I think we got quite a few going here, but all right,
I had
man.
like a week off. This is we're back at it
Well, we had for good reason, but anyway,
for good reason.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Pints after the pod.
Is that the Walter White?
I've got some.
It's a great name.
What did you get?
I got some kind of cider, something.
Is it apple pie again?
No, this one doesn't taste like apple pie.
This one's just straight up.
This is just straight up hard cider.
Like a fucking apple that
Like it, right?
hated itself and
Exactly.
became alcohol.
Not one that wanted to be a pie.
Mine is from the Bare Hands Brewery. I don't know if that's a local brewery. Bare Hands. Is that one up in Granger?
Yeah.
Well, that's the Bare Hands Brewery, named the Walter White IPA.
Yes.
7% alcohol.
Comes in a smaller glass
Comes in a smaller glass
because they want you to still be able to get home.
but for dainty, fragile people like me. I like to drink my beer out of a whiskey sniffer.
So we lost to Costa Rica.
I think that was a whole bunch
Send
of
the
like, fuck it. And I don't know if Klinsman will even be around much longer.
Now after that, yeah.
I mean, only about it, we're kind of pot committed to him with the whole director of football and that kind of stuff. I mean,
Right. He got himself a pretty sweet deal. And he moved in.
but he's actually, I mean, the fact that we're even talking about USA Soccer and wanting to raise its level I think, is a testament to what he's actually brought to it.
I'd agree with that. I mean, people
Where-
didn't talk about it before.
If they did, it was only during a tournament, definitely not in off seasons.
Right.
And it's,
Well, and
and the fact
let's
that
be honest. I mean, this team has shown flashes of good. Like they played Portugal really well of that last.
they should have won. They should have
Yeah.
beat them in the World Cup. Should have
Yeah.
probably won that group.
Right.
Played Germany to a tie. I mean,
Right.
came out of the group of death.
They played some good soccer.
They can play, but I just believe we're just a little too long in the tooth on some positions, and I don't see the development. You cannot tell me that you have to bring back the Marcus Beasley, that there's not
Yeah,
a
there should
fullback.
be-
There's not a fullback in his 20s, early 30s
Right.
that can take that position from DeMarcus. There's
Yeah.
not a player you trust
There
in
has to be.
the whole system.
Yeah.
I just can't see
There
that.
has to be a guy.
But he
has to
he rolled the dice with the old guard and it lost. Is there anything that we did over the weekend or something?
Oh, anything that we were involved in? Like that we spent like a
Anything
whole
talk-
Saturday doing? It's not coming to me.
Oh, that's right. You wrote a film.
And you started it, I believe. You started as Ben,
Ben.
which I love that your name is Ken and you started as Ben.
Ben.
And your co-star is Sarah and her name was Sarah in the script. It's one of those wacky things.
She was a godsend.
She was awesome.
I guess
She was a lot of fun.
like I tried telling her before, when you were looking for an actress, and asked me if I knew anybody, like she came to mind, or two came to mind, her and Paisley. Mm-hmm. I think that's how you say her name. I'd feel bad if it wasn't.
What's that?
Is that how you say her name?
Paisley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
thank
yeah.
God.
I've met her before.
I'm as horrible at like pronouncing names, even names I should be able to pronounce, like read English. Yes, I'm great at scripts. So, how do you say these words? No, but her working with her on Superhero Poker Showdown with that Tara Early film.
Yeah.
She was professional, loose and professional. Like in between takes, knew when to like have fun
Right.
with everybody, but
Knew to dial it back.
knew when to get everybody, like when everyone else is kind of just chattering.
Right.
And just being able to observe that, not being in the scenes with her, being able to observe like all the like there's 9 characters in costume trying to interact,
Right.
where she was friendly with everybody,
Right.
and then knew how to turn on the professionalism. I was like,
Right.
that's a person that knows what's up.
Right.
And with that, the fact that she said yes and was able to do it,
Yeah. Well, that was,
I hope, like,
she was fantastic.
and great on set.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Real comfortable, real loose. I like working. I like working that way. It's just easier for everybody if everybody's comfortable. And you don't know what you're getting when you get a bunch of people that you don't know together. It could turn out to be anything. But it was great. I mean, a great time. That is what the expert said. The expert said that the winner of the Cubs Cardinals would probably end up in the World Series.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, what happened? Like the Cubs in the World Series. The fact that they'd be in it, like I would be like,
What are you gonna do if they win it? 100 and
it's
107 years.
I think I'm gonna have to like do something big, like propose marriage.
You go to
or
Chicago?
Something huge. Write a play. Maybe like the year of the Cub.
Let's write a movie about it.
I couldn't like I've always envisioned it, and
I think people
like
have been
I'm
envisioning it for 100 years.
I'm so superstitious. Like we started a podcast a little bit late.
Right, because
I was watching the game, but then I was also like driving around because I got superstitious. Like I can't show up till the game's over. So I was like, I'm gonna get a coffee. Would you like a soda? And then I'm like, driving like, oh shit, well,
I just wait outside.
And then I pull in the parking lot, and I go to pull in the space, and like I lose the signal of the radio station. So like I back up, I'm like halfway in the middle. I'm like, no, I'm in the middle of the parking lot.
In the middle of the aisle of the parking lot.
And like, you come out waiting at the top of the stairs, and I loved it. Like I got your soda. I'm walking it up to you.
Right, and then something happens.
And then like I thought I turned the radio up loud enough, and then heard something like a step up, and I'm like going to hand it to you, and I'm like, whoops, like no, I'm like 3 steps up, and I like step back down, try to get close to it.
That was awesome.
Oh, it's just, I remember being so, like in 2003, it just like took over everything. Mm-hmm. But I knew Game 6 when we lost that. When that Bartman thing happened, I knew we lost it, the whole series. People can say they won about Game 7 or you had like, 2 more innings. No. As a Cubs fan, and as a Cubs fan, and for a while, the whole city, you saw the breath, the air leave the entire city.
I was watching that game, and you're absolutely right. The air went out of the entire stadium. The whole, like... And yes,
it was the moment everyone was waiting for.
Cubs,
everyone was waiting for something, and when it happened,
they were waiting for
it was
something
like
bad to happen.
All the
players were waiting for it
because it became real. Everything became real.
They were playing good baseball.
Oh God,
They still could have won the game.
Wood and Pryor, you're telling me you got?
They still could have won the game.
Nope.
Not after that. The stadium just went dead.
Not after that.
As a fan, what's your best title win, and what's your worst title loss?
Oh, good question. As a fan.
As a fan,
the best title win, the worst title loss. The worst title loss was the Super Bowl against the Colts. We outthought ourselves. We should have won that game. It was built for our team. Was built for that game.
Rex Grossman.
Nope, wasn't Rex's fault. It was not Rex's fault. Ron Turner's fault.
Watching that game?
No, I'm sorry. You got Thomas Jones. You're 2nd and 1, and you go to do a play action pass or some bullshit. No, it's raining. You got Thomas Jones and the A Train. You run the fucking football or Cedric Benson. You got Cedric
that
Benson.
Game. We had people coming over, and like they rang the doorbell right as opening kickoff was happening. I'm like, nope. I'm watching Devin Hester return the kickoff first, and then I'll get the door. Touchdown. I thought, for sure, this is a game. The Bears are in this. And then they weren't.
No, they were in the game. But the Colts, only thing they did is they beat the Tampa 2 with something very simple. Yep. Peyton didn't. We had a blown coverage from Chris Harris down the field on that one touchdown. The guy slipped and he's wide open. I forget if Marvin Harrison or whatever.
Yeah.
But he dumped it underneath.
Yep.
It wasn't Peyton like
no.
He just dumped it.
Dump it underneath.
Pressure came in. Linebackers would go deep. There was this hole. There were
Right.
2 spaces on either side. He seemed like he just a die, whoever was the running backs at the time, and
That's the hole in the Tampa too.
And just
the
a
short
short
pass.
We never covered it. We
Yep.
never covered it. They would get first downs. We turned the ball. It was a mudding. We had the mudders to run in a mudding football game. Ron
knew it.
and whoever I think it was Ron Turner, whoever the offensive coordinator outthought himself and tried being cute. I hate when they do that. That 2nd-and-1 play when I was like, no, it's 2nd-and-1.
Do what you do.
You run the football. Run it. We're running
Yeah.
it. Run it. You got Thomas Jones. Let's do what got you there.
Dance with the girl that brought you.
We didn't do that. We didn't do that, and it was just frustrating. That was worse because Devin Hester returning that opening kickoff. Oh man,
I thought this is a game.
this is
Good.
it's ours. And fuck the Colts. I hate the Colts. Hate them. Like I hate a reason why I hate the Colts fans.
Oh yeah. No.
Plus the ones that just kind of like sprouted out of nowhere.
I just like Bills fans because I lived in Toronto during the years where the Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls, and one of them was that comeback against the Houston Oilers where
Oh yeah, I
they were
remember that
down
one.
like 35-0.
Frank Reich.
Frank Reich comes in and Jesus gave me this comeback, and they're like, "Oh, come on, dude!
That's
So you're
crazy.
playing a football game. It's not. Jesus had nothing to do with it.
How do you know? The Lord works in mysterious ways, Mark.
You're playing a football
Mysterious
game. The Oilers collapsed. You guys played well enough to beat them. End of story. It was not divine intervention. You're not destined to get to. You just won a game. Stop.
Football was really big back in Jerusalem. The Nazarene had a great. The Nazarenes from Nazareth had a great. They had a run and shoot. They loved it. Oh,
The Nazarene
man.
Carpenters.
The Fighting Carpenters.
Best championship win.
Best championship win. No, I'm going to say the best title, my favorite championship, was that 08 Champions League with Manchester United versus Chelsea in Moscow. That was,
Okay, Chelsea. Okay.
I was about, 3 years into watching United. Had a really good feel of the team. Ronaldo was in his prime. Giggs playing Scholes. I mean, it was a rainy night in Moscow, and just the tension was just palpable.
Right.
And Ronaldo scored first with it was like he jumped 10 feet in the air and just like turned his head and put this ball past Peter Cech, and was like, and then they scored. It went in extra time, and it went into penalties.
Oh, it went
All the way to penalties.
all the way to penalties.
And
Oh man.
we ended up. Chelsea had a chance to win it. John Terry steps up. He goes. He plants his foot. He then proceeds to slip.
Oh no.
Falls straight on his ass. The ball goes wide. I think Edwin van der Sar, who was in net, might even jump the other way. I can't remember.
No.
But he misses. That opened up because Ronaldo's penalty actually got saved.
Right.
And he went back. He was like in tears. He couldn't even watch the rest. He was like on the ground
goodness.
in tears. Like he was devastated. Cause like
Lost the game.
he scored the opening goal, but
Right.
the penalty, like he was so he was, boom, he missed. He got blocked.
Right.
And then Ryan Giggs came up. He got substituted on. He broke Sir Bobby Charlton's all-time appearance record in that game. He came in when he took his penalty. I believe it was his penalty that won it.
Right.
Then I do believe it was Nicholas Anelka that took the penalty, and Edwin van der Sar, I want to say, saved it, going to his right, palmed it away, and champions. And I was even watching it from the group stage all the way through to the champ. Like, if that league is such a hard thing to win, it was
Like when I was younger, I didn't really appreciate titles. So Toronto won World Series in '92 and '93, and I was like, "Oh, this will happen all the time."
Was it Carter?
Yeah,
Gary
Joe
Carter?
Carter had
Joe Carter.
Joe Carter has a walk-off home run. I'm like, "This is going to happen all the time." Now it's like 25 years later, and they're finally back in the playoffs,
like,
right? Yeah, you're like, "Wow, those don't come around every day." Best win was the Seahawks Super Bowl from 2 years ago, and that's just because everybody else that I knew was a Broncos fan. Like everybody's like, "Oh, we want Peyton Manning to get his second Super Bowl. He's gonna kill you guys.
I hated
crush
the
you."
Colts fans. Like, I just want Peyton to get one.
Exactly.
I want to go fuck
Exactly. I don't care about Peyton Manning, but every single one was like, "Oh, you Seahawks, they're just trash talkers. They're not any good. Peyton Manning's gonna carve them up." And I remember like for 2 weeks
They're probably racist.
they were trash talking 2 weeks straight, and I didn't say anything. I made sure I didn't say anything on Facebook at all. I just kept quiet, waiting for the game. And when the game starts and that first snap goes over his head in the end zone for safety, I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is really happening."
Utter destruction.
And I mean, until it was 29-0 in the first half, and I was still like, "You can come back. I've seen it before." I watched the game in Tampa when he was with the Colts, and they were down 34-0 or something in the fourth quarter, and it came back and won it.
I think I remember that one.
I'm like, it can happen. Then Percy Harvin ran back the kickoff after halftime. I'm like, it's done. Game over. And after that, everyone's on Facebook like, "Wow, we had to turn that off after the first half." I was like,
I love that.
that was the best ever. Worst loss, Vancouver Canucks lose to Boston Bruins, 2010 Stanley Cup Final. 7 games, and it's the worst loss because I knew it was going to happen. I saw it coming. All playoffs. Vancouver's winning games, but they're taking every series to 7 games. When they lose by a lot of goals. When they win by 1 goal. And you can't beat the Boston Bruins like that. You can't do it. Because they're going to grind you down, and they're going to wear you out, and they're going to beat you. And that's exactly what happened. Game 6, we have a chance to close it out in Boston. We get beaten like 7-0 or like 7-1. And then like, it's over. And we had to go back to Vancouver and lose in Vancouver. And that was the worst part. And I knew they were going to lose because after Game 6, there's no way they could come back from that. That one was hard because I've always hated Boston.
You saw it coming.
I saw it coming.
And then you lose.
There's nothing I can do about it. I lose to Boston.
And that's kind of what made the Indianapolis Colts thing so much, because it was bad enough that there were all these fans now, but living in this area.
Oh, yeah.
And having to go into every fucking gas station and be constantly fucking reminded.
Colts stuff everywhere.
Oh, Super Bowl champion Colts. Colts.
Man.
I was just like, I'll burn this motherfucker to the ground.